Now we have our mics on. Now they can hear us on YouTube. What's up, everybody?
I was just thinking, oh no, they're going to hear me crunching again. Because
Yes.
today, and this chat is not brought to us by Carnivore Snacks.
However, she's been eating a lot of carnivore snacks lately, just like I've been eating a lot of pork and goods.
A lot of pork and goods.
Yes.
This is, I think, my last bag.
Which one is that?
This is the duck
Oh, I
crackers.
haven't tried that one yet, have I?
It is so good. It's basically duck skin.
Duck skin?
Duck skin's so yummy.
Oh, it's right up your alley.
It's fried fat, basically. 17 grams of fat, 10 grams of protein in 1 ounce. So it's high fat. That's why it's the last one.
That doesn't mean she's on a high fat diet.
That relates to our topic today.
It's just, this is high fat.
This is a high fat.
She's eating it because she likes it.
I'm eating it because I like it, but also
She's
because
not trying to get in extra fat.
I just got back from church. There is no food prepared, and I am hungry. And I was at the grocery store picking up a couple things on my way home.
Never shop hungry.
And I was looking at all the meat sticks. Like maybe I could get a Epic Bar or a Chomps or, Country Archer, one of those. And I was like, ugh, I just don't want that. I was like, ugh. It was not appetizing to me. And so I was like, well, hopefully we'll have something at home. I bought some smoked salmon I was going to eat, but that's not quick because I can't eat that while we're chatting. I'll be like with a fork and all that. So I was like, what do we still have left from Carnivore Snacks? So I'm going to have to make another order. Get some Carnivore Snacks. So make another order. Get some more. Oh, I might need to buy some brisket. I haven't got the brisket from them in a while.
Okay.
That's really good. So anyways, we have a code for Carnivore Snacks.
We do?
I don't remember it off the top of my head, but go to my Instagram. Coach Nat's Faves on my website, nataliejgrasso.com. Coach Nat's Faves has all of, I may have most of your partner brands as well. Mine and Bronson's.
Yeah, and on YouTube, both of our link trees are on the description for here on my YouTube.
Okay, whoa, that's crazy.
Whoa.
That's like
is that a filter?
4K.
She's got all the filters on the Instagram.
It's not a filter. It's
before we get started,
it's 4K, so everything came in super. You got to see all my pores there for a second.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
All right. So again, don't forget while you're engaged, saying hello, asking questions as we talk about this stuff. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. If you have any questions, please ask. Whoever asks a good question or lots of questions. And they have to be relevant questions. Don't ask us about the weather, right? Things like that, right? Relevant, engaging questions, pertinent to the conversation. At the end, we will draw a name or pick a name to get a free bag of Keto Brains because Keto Brains is awesome, and we want all of you guys to try.
Keto Brains is our partner for this chat.
They are a partner for this chat. As far as they offer.
Oh, go ahead.
A bag. They offer a bag to a winner each week.
Yes, and we have a code, Keto Rehab, for 20% off.
20% off.
And now you also get a free knuckle mug if you spend.
What's a knuckle mug? A knuckle mug. You get a mug made of knuckles.
How do I describe that?
It's the word is escaping.
Brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles.
It's like brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles is the handle of the mug.
If you spend $40 or more. And you can get 20%
it's almost 11
off with our
11.
code. So.
Ooh, chicken shawarma.
I love chicken shawarma.
Okay.
Kebabs,
all right. So.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
On YouTube, if you hear me chewing and it's annoying, let us know in the comments, and I'll turn my mic off.
Well, you can't turn it off because then they'll only hear you through my mic.
Well, last week I would put the mic down when I was chewing.
I didn't even notice. Okay.
See, that's how smooth it was.
It was smooth. Okay, any other announcements? Don't forget, April of next year, we're doing an intensive immersive experience, 2 days, just us, no more than 10 people. Come spend a couple days with us getting into all the stuff that you need to get into to get yourself to the next level. Okay, we're not going to talk just nutrition. We're not going to talk just fitness. We're going to talk about all of the stories and belief systems you have in your head and how to break through to develop and create a new identity for yourself and develop new belief systems to get you to where you want to go.
The real stuff.
The real stuff that matters, right? We say it all the time. Coaching, if there's anything we've learned about coaching in the past however many years we've been doing this, it's never about the fitness. It's never about the food. It's always about how you're thinking about it. Right? That is where real coaching and real progress comes from. And that's what we're going to work on for the 2 days. April 25th and 26th or 24th and 25th, something like that, the last weekend in April. Save the date. We don't have any specific details. We do know it will be here in Reston, Virginia. You come hang out with us for a Friday and a Saturday. I believe there's a Saturday and a Sunday.
Saturday and part of Sunday.
Saturday and part of Sunday. Hopefully the plan is to have some transformations in how you think about things so you can take stuff home and actually make a difference, make a change. So that's that.
I have something starting.
What do you have?
New program in the Keto Bikini Academy.
Ooh, okay.
So if you are looking for training, programming, nutrition, guidance, but the big piece, the coaching, accountability, guidance, support, community, you can literally bring anything to us. We're going to talk today about the whole carnivore versus carbs discussion that's going on inside the academy. We are not dogmatic. Not everyone in the Keto Bikini Academy is keto.
Or
not
bikini.
Everyone is right. Yeah, not everyone is a bikini competitor. In fact, the grand majority are not. Although we do have some this year.
You had more this year.
Very
Yeah.
exciting.
Not me.
Not him. No Speedos either.
No, sir.
We've got everywhere from zero carb to low carb, the higher end of the low carb spectrum in the academy. So we meet you where you are. We help you move forward with whatever might be holding you back. A lot of the mindset stuff, a lot of the day-to-day, what is getting in your way kind of thing. We have a brand new training program starting tomorrow. First week is always kind of our get your feet wet, get comfortable with the new program week, so you can still join this program anytime. In fact, you can join anytime. You can join at the end of November if you just want a program going into December. But it's not just a program. You get a whole lot more with that. So the membership includes everything: the coaching, the nutrition, the community, the education. We do a lot of educating, Zoom calls, the whole nine. So you can learn more at nataliejgrasso.com/KB-Academy. You can find that link on my YouTube, my Instagram, my Facebook, all the places.
All the places.
At the Keto Bikini Pro on Instagram if you're watching on YouTube and you're not familiar.
Yep. Okay, so this topic, we were actually a couple people last week, because we said we weren't planning on talking about this.
Right, and then you've done
Because there's
two
been
videos
enough
already.
There's been so much hullabaloo. There's been such a
Hullabaloo.
There's been such a kerfluffle in the low carb keto carnivore community with these topics, with this perceived perception of everybody leaving carnivore.
And really what it is it's become a trending topic. So now
Right.
there are a lot more people talking about it than the actual people doing it.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
So it seems like it's a bigger deal.
And this is the main reason we wanted to do it. Number one, because we were asked to by the audience last week. But number two, we care about you guys, and we care about how you are affected by the information that's being put out there. I think the overwhelming response from the audience, from the subscribers, from the followers, from the normal people who out there who are just trying to improve their life is fear.
Fear and confusion.
Fear, confusion, and a little bit of, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now.
Yes.
Because I've been getting my information from these people for the past 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, however long they've been doing specifically carnivore, right? Because technically keto does include carbs.
And really it's
Right.
the carnivore.
It's in the carnivore space particularly. Well, let's focus on that. And that is, everybody's been saying, and I'm using everybody generally, plants are trying to kill you. There's no such thing as an essential carb. All of these flat out absolute statements. And then now all of the sudden, Well, but I needed to introduce carbs in order to correct a marker or a health issue or my progress on carnivore.
And
Well,
the confusion is that it's those people who were telling you definitive
correct.
statements before.
Right.
And now they're completely changing their statements and stating the opposite.
The exact opposite, right? I couldn't make any more progress unless I added carbs. Carnivore
wasn't
worked
working.
great until, that's the most common one I'm seeing.
Yes.
Carnivore worked great until ...
Until it didn't. because
Now
of
I have to add in
XYZ.
carbs in order to get where I really want to go. Even though 6 months ago I had 5 posts that said carbs are not essential. You don't need carbs to be healthy. And people are like, what the hell? What the hell is going on?
Or they were fear mongering you in the other direction, saying
Right.
carbs are going to kill you, plants are going to kill you. You have to get that stuff out. You're killing yourself by eating that stuff. It's gone from, and that's our biggest concern is this huge sweeping now change, and not just that this is what they're doing or they're trying and why they're trying it.
Which wouldn't be an issue.
What it's turning
Hopefully.
into is carnivore's harmful for you, and you, if you're like me, because I'm changing this because of this issue or this scientific reason why for me it's not working, and if you're like me, it's not going to work for you, is essentially what they're saying.
Right.
By saying you know, this is the better way to go now.
And we want to start off with a couple of baseline things. This is what we're seeing, and this is why we're doing this. This is not about what anyone is doing in their own life. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Whatever decisions you want to make, whatever things you want to do as an influencer, as a subscriber, whatever, do what you want to do. What I have a problem with, and I'm going to try to contain myself. What I have a problem with, for specifically, and we'll get into this now a little bit further because I don't want to dive into it now.
Yeah.
Is somebody, my personal opinion, this is just me talking in my box about the way I view my role as a coach. Okay? I am a coach before I am an influencer.
Boom.
Okay? I create content as a tool to help me coach. I do not
100%, I
create
agree.
content as a tool to help me make money. It is a very, very big, very different thing. Okay? I want to create a living as a coach that creates content. I think to me, there is a
Yes.
very big
Yes.
difference in that distinction, right?
Yes, and let's be clear. Gaining new clients through online means, when you are an online coach, that is how we make money eventually.
Right.
But there is a very big difference between seeking to monetize a channel for the purpose of earning money from your
Your
social
channel.
media
Right.
versus gaining money from
Here's the difference.
what you do to make a living.
Yeah. Here's the
And
difference.
utilizing social media to reach a wider audience and to reach the people that you can help with what you do for a living.
Right. And here's the difference. The difference is, as a coach, our product is your success. As an influencer,
I love the way you said that.
their product is their content. Whether you're successful or not means nothing.
That's so, wow.
That is the difference.
Okay, I need you to say that again.
Okay? As a coach, as coaches that create content, our product, what we are selling, is your success. Content creators and influencers, whether they have a coaching program or not, it's the priority. What are they first? Their product is their content, not your results. Okay? So please, please, please think about that when you're listening to what people are doing and whether you should do it or not. Okay? That's not even where my problem is.
No.
I just want to make sure that you guys understand that distinction. Mm-hmm. The second thing, and this is where my problem is, because we are trying to be as effective in getting you where you want to go as possible, I get so hot when I see people making choices in their own lives as influencers who then take those choices and try to use science to justify it and convince you that you should do the same thing. Taking mechanisms out of context or leaving out pieces of the context on purpose to make it seem like this is the only way that you can get where you want to go, I think is disingenuous and harmful. And if you are an influencer and you are not providing the entire picture of what you actually did, and we'll talk about this. Many people that we're seeing that are making these shifts are making claims about what did or didn't happen or how things affected it. I guarantee you they have no idea because they didn't track any of it. Because many of them have been touting anti-tracking and intuitive in what they're doing. So how do they actually know what's going on? Right? Again, you can't change what you don't track. Right? So I get pissed off. You guys know with the whole science thing, and I'm very much about say what you mean and make sure it's the right thing. Okay? Don't say this is good for metabolic flexibility if you don't know what metabolic flexibility is. Don't say this is keto or carnivore is harming my thyroid if you don't actually understand that that markers for certain metabolic functions may not be the same when you're doing different things in nutrition. And don't say that you need carbs when we know for a fact that there are other ways to do the exact same thing without adding carbs in.
It's the definitive.
Those are the things those are the problems that I have with it.
I have problems with definitive statements. The truth is we are human beings and we don't know crap. We think we know things until we learn more and discover that we didn't know everything there was to know about the thing.
Right.
How about, and this is one of your passions, science is not definitive. Science is not fact.
Yeah.
Studies do not prove anything. I saw something out there that was talking about this concept of, stating that something is proof, that studies are not actually proof.
I saw that too. Did you send that to me?
I may have, because
that was a Norwitz thing, was it?
No, I think it was, I'm forgetting his name. The one, I did share his profile with you, so maybe if you're following him
I can't
now.
remember. Yeah, I do remember seeing something like that.
It's one of the researchers or scientists out there who likes to explain science to people.
We've talked about this before, is that we've fallen into this trap where science has become God, and what we're seeing actually happen in real life is become meaningless.
Right. The whole science-based,
there's this
evidence-based.
Yeah, there's a paper that says this is what happens. Okay, great. So then I have to change everything I'm doing, even though what I'm seeing right now is what I'm doing is working.
It's this, and even that is so polarizing because it's like this, anecdotes mean nothing, but we wouldn't have any studies if there were never anecdotes first.
Yeah.
It came from somewhere. You had to get the idea, the hypothesis had to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So to completely dismiss all anecdotes as if they mean nothing because there's not a placebo study behind it.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal, and we're kind of going off a little bit, but anecdote, what you guys are seeing happen in your own life, this is why N=1 is so important. That is science. Individual experience, by definition, is empirical. Empirical evidence means something that you see happen with your own eyeballs.
But
that is the basis of all science.
Intuition.
Correct.
You need data to back it up. You can be an N=1 if you're collecting data. You can't be an N=1 based on how you feel today.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Right?
Yes.
Feelings are not facts.
Oh. So
Do not compare
that's a
the
whole
two.
nother, that's a whole,
Do
I
not
didn't even make that
confuse
connection. You
data
can't,
and feelings.
you can't do N equals 1 with no data. It's not N equals 1.
There's a lot of people
In that case,
thinking that they are out there doing N equals 1, but they are just changing with the way the wind blows, and they're not capturing any actual data to tell them whether or not these conclusions that they're drawing are just complete conjecture or association versus causation.
Yeah.
They're confusing one of the basic tenets of science.
Oh, that's powerful. How did I not make, I'm mad I didn't come up with that.
I beat you to it.
You can't be N equals 1 if you're not collecting data. That is absolutely phenomenal. Okay.
Show us the receipts is one of the
Show us
notes
the
we made.
receipts, right? Yeah. Okay.
If this is what caused you to get better results, show me the receipts.
Yeah.
Show me how.
So the first thing about this discussion, why it matters, like we said, it's not about anyone's personal choices. I don't care what you're doing. It is about pushing the idea, and this is pushing the idea that you cannot make progress without completely leaving the path that you were on that was working for you to start with.
Okay, so I want to read. I have a couple questions already.
Okay.
So wherever they come up organically, which may be already,
Okay.
but I know we're just introducing it.
Yeah.
So these are both from Bellatat. I think this is Natalie. So I think this is our girl Natalie. I could be wrong. Could be somebody who has a very similar Instagram handle. Why would you leave the carnivore way of life when it works? That's number one. And then the second question was, what can a person do without adding carbs to continue with the carnivore program?
Which we'll talk
this
about at
is-
the end.
Yes, and this is what you're saying is like this concept that you have to leave carnivore
In order to make whatever progress you're trying to make, which is a whole nother discussion, because
Yes.
how are you defining progress? Which that's
and
what
how
we'll
are you
talk about
defining carnivore?
Right. So
like
here's the basics, the basis of where some of this contention comes from. The fact that we're even defining something.
the fact that we're not, that's the problem.
Well,
Nobody's
the fact that we're
providing
the
context.
fact that we're defining it as a community based on what other people think, not how you're doing it as an individual. You don't do carnivore the way I do carnivore.
Nope.
Right? Rob Sykes doesn't do carnivore the way I do carnivore. Dr. Baker doesn't do it. Nobody does it the same. I had French fries last night. Oh my God, I left carnivore.
Oh, Chafee would
Right?
come back here and smack you around.
Right? Chafee doesn't do it like anybody does it. Right? And he pushes a much stricter version or model of how to implement carnivore for people. Stop using other people's definitions to define what it means for you. That's the key to this whole thing. Nobody can leave carnivore if they're doing it the way that they want to do it. It doesn't matter, because that is completely subjective to their life and how they've decided to do things, right? The only thing that matters is, are you doing what you need to do to get where you want to go? If that means you define carnivore as nothing but ribeyes and water, then that's fantastic if that's working for you. If that means you're more like me and I do eggs and ground beef with cheese sometimes, right? And every once in a while I have some ice cream or French fries. Oh my God.
You sound a lot like Dr. Kiltz.
Right? I don't have as much ice cream though. I do in one sitting,
And
but
you-
not throughout the week.
And you only have salmon when we go to the restaurant.
Right.
together.
I don't hardly ever eat fish on my own. But yeah, so this idea that there's one way to do a diet
Right.
is where, get that out of your head. There's no such thing. It just, I don't, that's where I think a lot of this comes from.
Yeah. Well, it's the identity thing, right? So that's really where a lot of the issue is coming from, is that the influencers who are leaving carnivore that are everybody's all up in
Leaving
arms
carnivore.
about.
Right.
It's because they made carnivore their whole personality, their whole identity. Everything that their online presence was built around was carnivore. And it was a certain way.
That's
It
how
was
the
with a certain
algorithm,
message.
that's how they find people with the algorithm.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
So,
That's how we do it. I mean,
course.
I do hashtag carnivore, but some people, the video I did with Chafee and JT yesterday, on my channel, there's a lot of comments of people saying, hey, this is great. A couple people trolls,
we
couple
talked
trolls,
about
right?
this, yeah.
On Chafee's channel, probably half of the comments were negative towards me and JT because we're not Chafee's carnivore.
Yes, because you mentioned eating a
Because I
certain
mentioned
thing.
eating French fries, JT mentioned eating candy. Half of the comments of his subscribers were, these guys are clowns, they don't know what they're talking about, whatever else. And it's like, guys, that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem. The problem is within the community.
Yes.
And the perception and this identity, the tribal mentality of everybody wanting to rally around, this is how we do it.
Identifying with a label,
right?
Rather
and that's
than
not helping
the
anyone.
Principles, yes, which you brought up the principles.
The principles, guys, we talk about this all the time. The principles behind why a carnivore diet works should be the focus, not how you do it. We talked about minimum effective dose yesterday. The smallest change that I can make to get to a more animal-based whole foods diet that's going to get me healthier and improve my quality of life should be the only thing I'm worried about. I don't need to look at anyone's definition and say, oh, if I'm not in this box, then I can't be successful. That's bullshit. How can I do whatever I'm doing to make me get better and where I want to go?
Right.
And in some cases, you guys are going to love this, in some cases, that includes adding carbs. Not because of science, but because of preference. Because of enjoyability, because of where someone's at in their ability to handle the discomfort of taking something out. Maybe minimum effective dose is stop eating ice cream and get a keto chow instead. Maybe the minimum effective dose of making a change is stop eating French fries and get something else, or do something, instead of doing French fries every day, go to once a week, right? Maybe it's, hey, I'm just bored of eating ground beef and eggs every day. I'd like to have some hash browns at breakfast, right? But in general, it's better than what I have been doing. It's an improvement. It helps me stay on track better, right? The 80% rule.
Well, I think the important piece of this, though, is being honest with yourself wherever you are in the journey. Is this actually making it better for me, or am I justifying something that's actually not helping me and could be making it worse? Mm-hmm. And I think the ice cream and the French fries is a good example of that, right?
Yeah.
Does doing that, allowing myself to do that without guilt every 6 months or every 2 months or whatever you can handle, is that cool? Sure. Is it making you healthier? No.
That's a cool piece. That's a great piece to understand.
I want to clarify
that's a
that
really good thing. And this is where some contention may come into play. This is the science piece. I will maintain, I have not seen anything in the last 24 hours to make me change my mind. Carbs that you eat are not essential. There is not a single function in your body that will work better, holistically, and sustainably just because you added carbs. I haven't seen it. Now, there may be something out there. I don't know. I have not seen any evidence of it.
We are humans.
Right? I have not seen any
We're
evidence of
always
it.
learning more.
Are there specific mechanisms that you can take carbs and affect that mechanism that will result in some changes in symptoms? Absolutely. There's also other things that come on the back end of that downstream and long term that could affect other areas negatively. Not even talking about the mental aspect of now you're adding carbs in and you may have another challenge with your relationship with food and addiction and other things that come into that arena. But the baseline, scientifically, you don't need them. So if you are adding them, every response, and I just want to run through this real quick, every response that you get from adding carbs in your life creates multiple levels of negative reaction in your body, whether it's increased stress in your gut, whether it's increased stress in your mitochondria, whether it's increased systemic inflammation throughout your entire body, whether it's increased glycation and AGEs in your proteins and muscles. There is multiple layers of stress and reaction. Oxidative priority is a great example. Your body will try to get rid of carbs as fast as possible because it can't store them and they're dangerous. Okay? That's just how it is. I'm sorry. Okay? If that is the case, and that has not changed in the last 24 hours that I'm aware of, then you have to make the decision. Am I doing this to help me sustain a generally healthier diet? Or am I doing it because I just want to eat more carbs? Because I understand that for either of those reasons, I am bringing in another layer of potential negative that has to be managed. So don't think that you're going to eat carbs and because a specific marker changed, you are now healthier. Markers are not health.
Oh, here's a good example of that. The Oreo study.
Right.
Oreos lowered LDL. So does that mean we should all be eating Oreos now?
Correct. Twinkies.
That was the problem. You had to add some highly processed, refined carbs and sugar and junk back into your diet.
And this is the problem.
That's all you had to do.
Right.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
That's all you had to do.
That's how somebody could use science.
Well, that's how they're doing it.
Right.
I'm putting carbs back in and my thyroid numbers improved. Let's just use that one as an example.
Yeah.
Okay. We know that on carnivore, thyroid numbers tend to go down. We also know that when you're under eating,
particularly T3.
Yes. We also know that when you're under eating, thyroid numbers go down.
Yep.
We also know that many of our clients who come to us are under eating.
So this gets back to the topic you were bringing up, which is there are many different ways to skin a cat.
Yes.
And this goes back to what you were talking about preference. When you say preference, it's not just, I feel like eating this, I want to eat this. It's, I might be having a problem while I'm doing a carnivore diet.
Yes. And I think because of this scientific thing, this is going to fix it for me, which is a valid evaluation.
And it's what a lot of people are now hearing from others. And barring the other person you're hearing it from could be completely 100% wrong. So we always have to consider that, right?
Yeah.
Don't just take somebody's word for it because they're on the internet. You could have a YouTube channel tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah.
You could be an influencer on the internet with absolutely no education or knowledge or experience in anything. You could choose what you want your topic to be and create an account. And now all of a sudden you're an authority to somebody online. So consider that, right? This person may not have any concept of what they're talking about, even if they sound confident.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being one piece. But yes, maybe you heard something somewhere, you read something somewhere. Even Dr. Kiltz admitted to falling into the fears from
markers,
the talk,
right?
You know, or other doctors. He's a doctor, but other doctors giving him diagnoses and giving him, you know, so many of our clients. Unfortunately, we're not only competing with the masses online of whoever you're hearing things from, the influencers and whatnot, but we end up competing with our clients' doctors who are literally giving them bad advice.
Yeah. And it's hard because we're not doctors. We can't actually tell them
not to listen to their doctors. So you could be getting advice from your doctor that is scaring you. That's a very real phenomenon that happens to people. So we completely understand that. And then you have a choice to make. Do I want to continue this way of life, this way of eating, and see if I can optimize within this way of eating to improve what I'm doing, this is the question.
And that's where, that's where
about
we're
like
going before I went off the rails.
what can we do within carnivore, right?
Right.
Or do I want to try adding carbs in a particular way and see if that benefits me?
Right.
You have the choice to do either of those.
To do whatever version of keto, carnivore, ketovore, lion diet, whatever you want to do, there are ways to make this work.
Yep.
And that's where the crux is. And that's where I really want to allay any fears. If we know that carbs are not essential, we cannot say carbs are not essential and then say there's also no way to be healthy within the context of a carnivore diet. Those two things don't exist. So if I'm telling you carbs are not essential, then there's got to be a way to make carnivore work for you. Okay? You're okay. It's fine. You can figure this out. Okay? Let's talk about number one. I guess you just said it, right? There are changes. You can make changes within the context of what are you doing. If you're keto, that's even a different story, right? Because you already have a bigger window of things that you can work with.
Yeah, so let's get back to
Right.
this question. What can a person do without adding carbs to continue with the carnivore?
That's where I wanted to go. So there's two things that we need to talk about with this, and you tell me
Okay.
which one you want to start first.
Okay.
There's stuff within carnivore, and then there's the whole idea of what if it isn't your nutrition at all?
Let's start with within carnivore, because
Okay.
that was the question. And then we can get into the what if it's not even your food?
Okay.
That's the issue.
So when we talk about within carnivore, I would say the first thing.
Actually, before we even dive into that,
Okay.
it's going to depend on what you're experiencing.
Right.
What are you trying to improve? Let's talk about the thing you were saying yesterday about most of the time when people are saying carnivore stopped working.
It's because they stopped losing weight. Their body weight set point needs to be
Yes, so a lot of the time, most of the time, in fact, probably all of the time that we're seeing these people adding carbs back in and getting better results, it's all weight. It's all weight. It's not even body composition. Some of them are saying it's body composition, but then when they talk about it, they're just talking about weight.
Yeah.
So it's going to depend, because some other people are saying it was a thyroid issue. It was, a fasting insulin issue. It was, all these other things. So the first thing you would need to do is identify, get some data about what's not working well. And maybe that data is biofeedback. I'm tired all the time. I'm cold all the time. I have all these clinical symptoms of what could be low thyroid, what could be chronic fatigue syndrome, that could be something, right? So first things first, get your own data.
Don't say your cortisol is high if you've never got your freaking cortisol tested.
Oh my God, that was a soapbox I got on a recent group call about.
Just because
this whole
you can't sleep
thing
doesn't mean you have high cortisol.
If you feel stressed all the time, that doesn't mean you have high cortisol.
Yes. It could be likely,
It could
but it
be.
doesn't mean you do.
Yeah.
And this is probably the biggest mistake that we see.
Well, that was another trending topic, and that's
Right,
why
is
everybody's jumping on this calling stress cortisol thing.
People making these changes to improve their progress because they're stalled or they're having a problem with something, but they don't have the data. They haven't gotten their thyroid tested. They haven't gotten cortisol tested.
Oh, it wrecked my hormones. How do you know?
Wait, what hormones did it wreck?
And did you have a baseline of your hormones before you tested? If you
Right.
did test your hormones 6 months, a year into carnivore, however long into carnivore, did you have a baseline before that to know that things have changed in the wrong direction?
Right.
You can't just go off of a one-time test.
Yeah.
So anyway.
That's probably the most important piece of this discussion.
Yeah.
If you want to change, and we've said, if you want to change, go for it. Have a blast and change. But you probably will have more success if you gather some data first. What are you actually doing? Where are you actually at?
And what are you trying to
And where are you
improve?
trying to go? We talk about this all the time. Without those three pieces of information, it's really hard to make a decision about what I need to change.
Right. So our advice on specifically what to change will be different based on where you're starting from, where you're trying to go.
Right. Understanding that if you want to stay carnivore or mostly animal-based, there are ways you can do that. And those ways could be...
Let's talk about some of the biggest things we see.
The biggest things we see.
Need to optimize. We're not going to say you're doing it wrong and there's a right and a wrong and everything's definitive. It's how can I optimize within?
Right. How can I improve what I'm doing nutrition-wise to get the most out of it?
Yes.
Okay. Many people are not eating enough, period.
Yep. Could be not enough protein. Could be not enough fat. Could be not enough of
Both
either.
Of either. Okay. Many people are eating too much fat. We've talked about this ad nauseum. Fat can make you fat. This is the one I've been seeing commonly. Well, I was carnivore for 6 months and I started gaining weight. That's because you're eating fat bombs 8 times a day. Or you can't get the carnivore bars out of your mouth. Okay? Stop. Not eating enough protein. My thyroid's messed up. Guys, you realize that proteins are the precursor to thyroid hormone. If your thyroid is low, that is not a sign that carnivore is messing you up. That is likely a sign that you are not getting enough protein. On the flip side, eating too much lean protein without fat.
Yep.
Right? So you need protein. Let's assume we're talking about animal-based foods. We're talking about meat. That comes with fat. Or you want to put some fat on it. Okay? Because 3 reasons. 3 main reasons why you want to make sure every meal has adequate protein and adequate fat. You want to stimulate insulin because you can stimulate insulin without carbs.
This is a big one. Let's just pause here because one of the things I see is chronically low insulin became a problem.
Right.
There are ways you can optimize that within carnivore. And this is what he's talking about. You do not have to add carbs to improve issues or symptoms from chronically low insulin.
Right. Because here's the deal, guys. You don't want chronically low insulin. Yes, that is a problem.
We want to have the right amount of insulin.
And what we find is that people that have issues with insulin tend to be eating primarily lean meats and not enough fat in each of the meals. So fatty meats or meat with fat, provides a overall similar amount of insulin response, but it's not as spiky and it lasts for longer. So the area under the curve, when we talk about looking at the numbers, instead of it going like this from carbs and then coming down, it rises slowly and lasts for longer. But the area, the amount of impact you get from the insulin is about the same, but it's better because it's more controlled. It's more managed, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, fat and protein together in a meal also stimulate GLP-1s. Right?
This is why it's the most satiating combination.
It helps improve your satiety and helps keep you from being hungry. So if you're eating a lot of lean protein, you're going to get hungry faster. If you're eating protein and fat combined, you will be satiated for longer. Okay? And then, what was the third one?
Why you want protein and fat? Better digestion?
Micronutrients. You need to have fat with the meat because the vitamins inside the meat, most of them are fat soluble. So if you want to get the nutrient density from the nutrient dense food that you're eating, you need the fat with it so that when it gets into your gut, it's actually absorbed by the gut. So those are 3 main reasons why you really need to make sure you're getting adequate protein and adequate fat in every meal. Right? That's one of the biggest things.
It will help.
Adequate.
Let me also mention it will help with the digestive process. Yeah. Breaking down lean protein by itself is more difficult for your body.
Yeah.
So if you're getting constipated, if you feel tired after meals, it could be that you have this really high protein, low fat meal in one meal. Mm-hmm. So it's not just that it's too high protein. You could have likely the same amount of protein with more fat and do better with it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so not eating enough protein, not eating enough fat, eating too much lean protein, eating too much fat. I'm trying to think of things that are food related, not food related.
too much overall. Too much food overall.
Well,
you can still eat too much on carnivore.
Usually fat.
Let's say you get the perfect combo of protein and fat at every meal, and you're just eating too much.
Right. Well, and
That's still gonna be an issue.
And here that's an issue primarily because if you're eating too much overall and you're getting fat and protein with your meals, that means you're probably getting too much fat. Right? So if you've got to find a balance between this is where adequate is the best word. It is the best word. Adequate protein, adequate fat for what you need, where you're trying to go. You've got to figure it out, and you can't do that unless you're tracking. You don't know what adequate means, what appropriate for you means if you're not tracking what you're putting in your face. Any kind of fasting.
The fasting, yes.
If you are having any problems at all, I'm going to say this flat out, guys.
This is why I'm eating during this chat.
If you are stuck having any problems at all that you are attributing to carnivore, stop fasting, step number one. If you are intermittent fasting on purpose, there's a difference between intermittent fasting because it's your schedule, because of when you feel hungry, whatever, natural, my body's response to needing food. But if you are fasting on purpose, if you are fasting because you're not aware of your hunger signals, you need to work on that. And that's a whole different. If you're going through work all day long and you're just so busy that you forget to eat, that's another thing we got to talk about. Mm-hmm. Okay, but if you are fasting, if you're doing intermittent fasting, OMAD, or any extended fasting, and you're saying that you're having a problem, stop. That means
eat more regularly.
You are stressing your body out and likely under eating. That is those issues that we hear from these people that do this are, and honestly, much of the issues that we hear about this, there's one word for it: malnutrition.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? It has nothing to do with carnivore. It has to do with not eating what your body needs.
100%. And you can do that on any diet.
On any diet. It has nothing to do with carnivore. You can do the exact same thing. It's literally the problems that people have doing any diet when they're in a calorie deficit. Air quotes. I hate using that word. Mm-hmm. But when they're under eating.
Under eating. Mm-hmm.
Right? It's all the same thing. Mm-hmm. You're not getting enough nutrition in your body in a way that your body can use it as well. Mm-hmm. So that would probably be the next thing. Those are the only things I can think nutrition-wise.
Well, then I would say, this is the big one that I work with my clients on.
Okay.
Consistency.
Not
doing two totally different things every other day. One day you're eating high fat, low protein. The next day you're doing PSMF. Yep. The next day you're fasting entirely. Yep. The day after that you do a fat fast. Because you got to keep your body guessing, right?
Yeah, or
you keep changing your mind.
I didn't work out today, so I have to eat less.
We had that talk on my Zoom call yesterday.
Right.
We've got to
I had a hard workout yesterday. I'm not working out today.
Earning your food. Yeah. Your body deserves to be nourished every single day.
Yeah.
Not just when you worked out hard enough to deserve it.
Understand something, guys. Your body needs the nutrition to allow you to exercise.
To function properly.
It also needs the nutrition to recover from the exercise. So if you have this thing in your head that says I need to eat certain amounts of food and they're different based on my activity level, stop.
If you are fat fasting to stimulate the FGF21 to get the weight loss that you're looking for, what does that mean? You're probably eating fat bombs all day. Or butter all day, whatever you're consuming that's pure fat that doesn't have any protein in it, do not make the mistake of thinking you're getting nutrition because you are not getting nutrients within that fat.
This is why we say macros aren't nutrition.
Fat helps you receive the fat-soluble vitamins
But if you're not getting those
But
vitamins.
if you're not getting those vitamins from a whole food source, you're chasing the weight loss at the expense of your nutrition.
I'm assuming this is Joe. So are you saying you shouldn't alternate day fast and also OMAD with the 1 hour eating window? Yes. I'm assuming that's Joe. Joe, yes, that is exactly what we're saying.
One time in 48 hours?
Yeah, one time every 48 hours. One meal every 48 hours. And OMAD 6,000 calories.
Oh, there's that too, right? There's that too.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Well, we have a lot of questions on both sides. So
do we want to do it? Okay, so
some.
we've talked about the nutrition pieces, how to make changes within the context of keto carnivore to maybe change and improve where you're going.
And let's just wrap that up by saying if you're going to make a change, we said track data. So actually look at how much you're consuming. Look at the grams of fat, the grams of protein in total, your total food amount for the day. And do it consistently over weeks. Not a few days, not 7 days, not 2 months, but you didn't do it every day. You did it every third day or fourth day, or you did it for 5 days and then you did something else for 2. And then that's also not how you do an N=1 experiment. You try something and you give it a few weeks of consistently doing the same thing day in and day out. And then you can look at your data over a few weeks of day in, day out, doing the same thing daily for 21 to 30 days minimum. And then you can start to draw some conclusions.
And don't get caught in the trap, because this was a question that John asked. Trying to make a change, would you say try and track the marker you are wanting to change? And how long minimum time to track? It's going to be different.
Depends on the marker. Yeah.
But here's the catch with that. If you have a specific thing that you're focused on, any change that you make is going to impact other areas. So you have to be cognizant of other things as well.
Ideally,
this is why we look at
one variable at a time.
Right. We change one thing at a time. And if we're trying, we make a change in something, one thing at a time, to hopefully make a impact and change a marker. That marker could be body fat percentage. That marker could be A1C. That marker could be T3. That marker could be adding 20 pounds to my back squat. Whatever that marker is. Understand that whatever change you make to affect this change in the result will have impacts in other results. So don't get so focused on one piece that you forget to look at the impact across the board, which is why we like to pull biofeedback. We like to look at body comp. We like to look at blood work. We like to look at how do you feel? How do you sleep? What's your energy? What's your emotional state? Like, we try to look at as many areas as possible, because one marker does not make health.
Yes.
Okay? One marker in total consideration of all of the things we can look at is how we define health.
And in fact, you could be looking at a marker that you think needs to be in a certain place that's actually not even the right place to be focusing on.
For sure.
If all you're focused on is bringing your LDL down, there's plenty you can do to do that, but is that even where you should be focusing your attention? Should you even be concerned about that marker?
Yep.
So, yeah. A1C is another example. You always talk about the difference between this 3-month average number that doesn't know anything about your day-to-day
versus the spikes and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. John, Carnivore Muscle says that we are a sensible couple. Thanks, Jonathan.
We try to bring some sense to things. All right, I don't have
Target Prime Rib. I love that name. Hi, first time here. Welcome, Target.
Hello.
If your fat is low during the day, is it bad to add a chunk of cheese at the end of the day versus adding it in at each meal throughout the day? Well, if you know ahead of time that you may have challenges getting in enough fat, I would get it in throughout the day as much as possible. If you have not been aware or planned appropriately and you get to the end of the day and you're like, oh crap, I didn't get enough fat, then you could do that. But how beneficial is that if you're just eating the fat to get a fat number?
Right.
right? If you just generally under 8, then that probably, and you're getting enough protein and fat at each meal, or if you're getting, I would say, if it's enough, you wouldn't have them. You would need more at the end of the day. If you've undereaten throughout the day and you're pairing your protein and fat together and your fat is low, it probably means your protein is low too. So if you get to the end of the day and your protein's not low, but your fat is, that tells you there's a bigger picture you need to address in how you're planning your meals throughout the day.
And when it happens one time, it doesn't need to happen again.
Yeah.
Because now you've become aware that there was something lacking in the rest of the day.
Once you know, it's on you.
So adjust that in the future so it doesn't happen again. And in that case, if it's only happening one time, it doesn't matter whether you eat the cheese or not.
Right.
Because one time is not going to make that big of a difference.
Aaron,
let me also say, because I just gave this advice to a client the other day. Maybe it was on the Zoom call. It was, I'd rather you're not having to make like this. Somebody had asked about, making or mentioned that they made a fatty decaf coffee or a fatty hot chocolate or something at the end of the night. And I was like, well, if that's happening frequently, I'd rather you plan it into your meals and have real food versions of that. And I'm always going to recommend that it not be cheese. So, you know what? That's something we didn't mention, but I will say that's another thing you could optimize within carnivore. If you have been heavily leaning on dairy as your source of fat, a lot of people use that as the reason why they're having dairy. I can't get my fat target without dairy. Without cheese, without cream, without butter, well, then I would say look at your meats, and you need to look at pairing some fattier meats with some leaner meats so you can get that from nutrient-dense whole foods.
Yeah.
Some forms of dairy are nutrient-dense whole foods, like some cheeses. But also, we see it time and time again, the dairy tends to be a stumbling block for people.
And you may not, you're going to see people out there who say, well, the science shows that dairy is not a problem. It's not inflammatory. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. All we can say is time and time again, we have clients who are stuck changing their body composition. And within weeks of cutting out dairy, things start moving again.
And not even just the body composition, but a lot of health conditions.
Yeah, health conditions as well.
That are impacted by inflammation.
Yep.
So.
Okay, I got one more question.
Okay.
Deb Tasker just asked a question, which we can
Deb,
talk about.
Hi, Deb.
And then we'll get onto the non-nutrition things.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So within the context of keto carnivore, if you're keto, let's say, and you're having problems, her question is, where'd it go? How about addressing those who say you have to have healthy carbs, such as veggies and fruit versus unhealthy carbs?
Oh, good question.
Okay. There are no essential carbs. I'm not going to go to the extreme and say that plants are trying to kill you. Although I think there's a lot of evidence to that. It's also very inflammatory, and I think it just turns people away from the whole concept, right? I don't think it needs to be presented that way. But there are more often, I'll use this example. If you have to use the word tolerate in your response to foods that you eat, then by definition, it's not healthy.
Ooh.
If you can tolerate Brussels sprouts, that's by definition doesn't mean they're good for you. Okay? So yes, there are beneficial. Wine is a great example. There are dozens of studies that show the benefit of wine.
It's not wine, it's resveratrol.
Resveratrol. That's in.
And that's the thing is usually the benefits are in a compound that is contained in that food. And so the issue that we run into with fruits and vegetables is that you also have anti-nutrients that come with them.
Or poison, like alcohol.
To some degree, right? So depending on the food, you have competing compounds within that food.
Yeah.
So are there benefits? Are there polyphenols? Are there antioxidants? Are there nutrients, micronutrients? Absolutely. There are also anti-nutrients that can block the absorption so where you're not receiving those nutrients.
Yeah.
And so there is, and this is my favorite thing to say, is that to explain to people, especially when we are trying to get out of the all or nothing thinking and the good and bad foods and all of that, all food exists on a spectrum, including processed packaged crap that's really not even food. Everything's on a spectrum. That spectrum, for one, is different for every individual.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet potatoes could be great for one person, horrible for another.
Yep.
Blueberries could be great for one person, horrible for another. Right? Peanuts, if somebody's allergic, they're literally dying on the spot if they don't have an EpiPen.
Yep.
Right? So there's a spectrum, and the spectrum is different for everyone. But there is a spectrum of harmful to beneficial, and everywhere in between. And any food for you could sit anywhere along that spectrum.
And if we're talking about plant foods, I'm wondering if I can rephrase that. Not harmful to beneficial. I would say, thinking of it, I guess that's probably the best way to do it.
I'm putting all foods on there. Now,
You're putting all foods on
the grand majority of animal foods and animal-based foods are going to live on the healthier side of that spectrum. The grand majority of plant-based foods are going to live on the other side of that spectrum. This in and of itself is exactly opposite of anything that anybody is being taught right now to this day in any formal nutrition education. I want you to be aware of this, because when you are Googling it and you're getting that you need to be eating these things because not eating them is harmful to you, and that carnivore can be harmful to you because you're not getting these things in, understand where that's coming from.
This is very specific to what we talked about earlier, where the hyper focus on a component is replacing the whole thing, right? Like you said, but fruits have antioxidants, so you need antioxidants. Okay, great. But they've also got all of these other anti-nutrients and poisons that are going to destroy your gut, cause inflammation, give you oxalate. Like there's so many other things that come with it. So
I was just mentioning,
we're hyper focused on this one piece and we're forgetting there's a whole other aspect.
So I just mentioned to you the other day a interview or a clip of an interview that I saw that I absolutely loved. Our friend Bill Schindler, who I'm trying to remember what he's called online. Eat Like a Human is his book.
Eat Like a Human.
East Coast. I'm trying to remember the names.
Stone Age Kitchen.
Modern Stone Age Kitchen. And I think that's the foundation that I'm thinking of. So anyways, I loved the way that he explained anti-nutrients in plant foods. And it was on Jesse Chappus or Chapus or something on YouTube. I don't know how to say his name. But look up Dr. Bill Schindler and Modern Stone Age Kitchen. And he teaches about this all the time. And another resource that's great for this is anything from the Weston A. Price Foundation. There's a book, Nourishing Traditions. Essentially, they're talking about ancient ways of preparing food that made foods that were more harmful or less beneficial more helpful and less harmful to us.
Right.
A big example of that is grains, nuts, seeds, and legumes.
Well, he's really good, particularly what they do at the Stone Age Kitchen is they've got traditional ways of making sourdough bread.
Corn. No, they sourced that, I think, from somewhere else.
Traditional ways of making sourdough bread and cheeses.
Yes,
so
fermentation.
They've got ways in the fermentation and the stuff that they do to reduce and eliminate a lot of the anti-nutrients, so you actually can access and utilize the healthy stuff.
More of the nutrients.
More of the actual stuff that's beneficial. So there are ways, and preparation that could be another thing. Maybe there's preparation things that you can learn, like from him
Yep.
that could help you add some variety or things you want to in your
Yep.
nutrition.
Yep.
We got some. All right, so we're going to get to these and then we'll get into the non-nutrition stuff.
You know what I should also mention about optimizing your carnivore?
Okay.
If you came into carnivore and you're the more of like the Dr. Berry tribe, it's like any way is fine as long as it's meat. Like, who cares if it's the cheapest,
Right.
crappiest, doesn't matter where it came from. If that's all you've been doing the entire time you've been doing carnivore and you have the means to at least shift some of what you're consuming to a higher quality,
That could make a difference.
looking at where it came from, was it in a feedlot or was it
Free range.
pasture raised eggs, grass fed, grass finished, organic? Is there a step you could take in the quality of the product?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing you could do.
Okay. Target Prime Ridge says, I don't know, Coach Bronson. Have you ever seen Attack of Killer Tomatoes? So apparently veggies are trying to kill us. Let's see. Evelyn says, eat healthy carbs for entertainment purposes only. That's kind of really what it is, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I never understood why sweet potatoes were suggested as an alternative. For goodness sake, it has sweet in the name.
Oh, as an alternative for regular potatoes. You know, that started way back with the paleo.
Yep.
That was the thing where for a while, sweet potatoes were considered paleo, but not white potatoes.
Yeah.
And then whoever made the rules of paleo changed the
right.
rules.
Rob Wolf. He's the father of paleo, right?
It was Lauren Cordain, actually.
Yeah.
Dr. Lauren Cordain.
Okay. What are things that we see people who are having some of these same challenges? If it's not, let's say they're doing everything they possibly can with their nutrition, right? They're tracking, they know what they're eating, they're getting plenty of fat and protein, and
they're not fasting.
They're not fasting. They're doing everything right. We can't tell them to carnivore harder.
You can if you're Anthony Chafee.
Well, right. So, and let's say they're doing that. Let's say they're doing just ribeyes and water, right? But they're getting a ton of ribeyes. They're getting all the protein and fat they need. They're getting all of the stuff. They're 100% Chafeevore.
Ooh.
I'm going to call it Chafeevore. Chafeevore from now on.
That's actually
tongue in cheek, Dr. Chafee.
I'm glad you used that as your analogy because there was something that kind of straddles the line between nutrition and other factors.
Right.
That could be the case if all you're doing is beef and water. Because you've been told by the hardcore carnivores that you don't need salt.
Right.
One first step that especially so many athletes get wrong
Is cutting. Yeah, they need more salt.
is not getting enough electrolytes. And then thinking that it's because of carnivore, because of the lack of carbs, that their performance is suffering in the gym. I've got my ladies, I've been talking about it a lot lately, trying the little bit of electrolytes in your palm.
Yep.
And just taking it, dry scooping electrolytes as your pre-workout or your intra-workout if you need a boost in the gym. If you need better pumps, because you got people in the bodybuilding space saying the pump comes from the carbs and you can't get a pump without carbs.
No, it's got nothing to do with carbs.
So electrolytes would be the first thing I would mention.
So that's the last thing on the nutrition side. Everything else that we see
Has nothing to do with food.
All activity-based. Not all of it. There's a couple other things, but most of it is activity-based. So I'm going to have one word I'm going to put at the top of the list. What do you think it is? Starts with an O. Not that O, because that would not.
That could make a difference.
It could make a difference if you're not regularly getting an O. That could be a problem. That is a stress reliever. It's stress management.
It is. I don't know what you're going to say.
Love me some stress management.
It wouldn't be a coffee chat with us without some innuendo.
The number one thing is overtraining.
Okay.
I think the number one thing that we see is people doing more to get better, i.e. lose more weight.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. More training doesn't get you more training, right?
More training doesn't get you more results.
More results. So training is a stress. One of the biggest things that we see people who are complaining about high cortisol all the time is they're training all the time, right? We see people who are trying to get in 10, 15, 20,000 or more steps a day.
That's huge. Yeah.
While they're also doing cardio 2 or 3 days a week, while they're also doing a high intensity exercise class or lifting 3 or 4 days a week or doing CrossFit 3 or 4 days a week. They're doing all of this stuff because they want to speed up their progress. There's this mindset of, I have to do more.
Doubling up workouts in a day.
I missed yesterday, so I'm going to do 2 today.
That is huge. I see that all
Don't
the time.
do that.
All the time. I swear almost every other week I get that question.
Yeah.
Is it okay to do both of my workouts in the same day? And then I always say the same thing. If you're going to do that, you got to cut them both in half.
Workload matters, right? Because recovery matters. If you are constantly stressing yourself, everyone's worried about cortisol. High intensity exercise isn't good for women because of cortisol. Okay? If you're doing it 5 days a week, yeah, that's a problem. Okay? But you need high intensity exercise in order to allow your body to get used to high intensity activity. You can't improve without stress, but continually adding stress and never giving yourself a chance to recover from it,
the full allostatic
doesn't
load.
allow you to manage it, right? There has to be pressure and then release. Pressure and then release. If it's always pressure, you're going to destroy yourself.
And I see constantly this, like, I need to take a break, and then you take a break for like 2 whole weeks, and then you go back and you're doing everything in one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is not optimal.
Yeah. And here's the deal. Recovery, how do I say this? Recovery is part of the training program that has to be balanced with the effort that you're putting in. If you take a day off and you're like, I feel great, that is not a get out of jail free card to go do more the next time you work out. Whatever your plan is, that is your plan. Because you feel good going into a workout doesn't mean you do a second workout. It doesn't mean you go do other things just because you feel good. Feeling good is what allows you to enjoy your life. It doesn't mean you go work more.
Ooh, that's good. Yes. Yes.
Okay? Your work is what allows you to experience life. Don't go out and just do more work to try to speed up whatever process you have in your mind you're trying to speed up.
And this is where the consistency piece plays in again. It's better to get a few short workout sessions in a week after week, than to go hard, burn out, take some weeks off, start back again, burn out again. That is stressful. That is always going to be stressful because you have not taught your body to adapt to that stress.
Everything is everything. You ready for this?
Let's go.
Some of you guys are making your workout schedule
like a fast
look like your blood sugar schedule.
Woo! And it's probably impacting your blood sugar in that way too.
Right? Because you're doing all this stuff and then you got to take all this time off. Then you're doing all this stuff, then you got to take all this time off. If you just manage it and keep it steady across the board, you're going to be a lot better. Your workout variability is killing you. And
you're fasting and feasting with your workouts.
Yes. Everything is everything.
Just like we say, don't do the fasting and the priming with your food. Yep. Don't do it with your workouts either.
Yep. That's it. Within the workouts, okay, the biggest mistake that we see is overdoing cardio.
Yep. Prioritizing
cardio over strength building and being able to move and control your body. So I would say if you are trying to improve your overall quality of life and health, switch up your focus to where cardio is something you add in when you can, And your focus is on getting as strong as humanly possible.
Strength training should be your meals. Cardio is your snacks.
There you go.
The same advice we would give you for
love that.
nutrition.
You
don't want to live on snacks.
Correct. Yep. You don't want to live on snacks. Yeah. Strength training, i.e., is your protein. You need some fat in there. You need some carbs in there. You need some cardio in there, right? But that shouldn't be what all you're eating, right? The nutrition is in the strength training.
Yes.
And the cardio helps you access it. How about that?
That's beautiful.
Everything is everything.
All the analogies.
Okay.
All right.
And then I think the last piece, which we won't get into, there's two more pieces. One is just general stress management, which we could do a whole nother series of videos on what that means.
Yeah,
because that's all up here. And then sleep management, which could fall under stress management.
We could talk about it. So this came up in my group Zoom the other day about the Aura. One of my members got her new Aura ring, and she was asking about the stress level that it's giving her because she's getting these alerts about being stressed when she doesn't feel stressed. So we could talk in a future episode about physiological stress versus psychological stress.
Sure.
That you may not feel stressed, but your body is stressed physiologically, and vice versa.
Right. Yeah. Well, I got to try not to respond to that because then we could go into the whole thing. Okay. I did want to end with something and I totally just lost it.
You had notes? There might have been something else you wanted to make sure you said.
Nope.
Did we cover it?
I think we covered it. So basically, to summarize this entire hour and 16 minutes, don't listen to anybody other than your results. That's all that matters. Okay?
With a caveat.
I'm being somewhat facetious when I say that. But
With a caveat.
Clarify that.
Stop chasing weight loss. Stop making everything about your results being about the weight on the scale. Because if all you're doing is focusing on your results on the scale, then you will do some crazy crap. And it will have you effed up health-wise.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. To all the influencers out there, this isn't an attack against you. Do whatever you want to do. I would just ask that you stop fear-mongering everybody and confusing the community.
That's it.
That's really
you know
the
what?
crux of it.
My girl, Mary, what does she go by on social media?
Keto Mary.
Keto Mary.
Had a great video. That was a good video.
She did a great video the other day that I think she said the words I was trying to find.
Yeah.
And something she said, this one little clip, and now I'm going to get it right, resonated and kind of summed it all up. Influencers, remember who your audience is. Audience members, remember who you are. You don't have to do what they're doing just because they're doing it, even if they're telling you to.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody's credentials is more important than your life.
And if they're not working with you one-on-one as your coach, what's the disclaimer
Guys,
we all have to make?
If you're working with a coach, stop listening to anybody else.
And stop going to other people getting second opinions about what your coach is saying.
Why did you hire them if you're not going to listen to them?
If you don't trust them, then you need to have a conversation with that coach. You
Yeah.
need to ask them more questions. Make them give you the rationale for why they're explaining or asking you to do something. But don't go getting second, third, fourth opinions from everywhere else after you've signed up with a coach.
Yeah.
But I just want to say this. We all of us that that are not licensed physicians, all have to give a disclaimer when we talk about anything online. That this is, that we are not a doctor, this is not medical advice, this is for entertainment purposes only, yada, yada, right? And then what's the thing all the doctors have to disclose or say in their videos? I am not your doctor.
Right.
They'll say, I am a physician, but I'm not your physician, right? Run everything by your practitioner.
Right.
We are coaches.
Yeah.
Lots of these influencers are coaches, but they are not your coach. They do not have all of your context. If they cannot see all of your data and all of your context and a 360-degree view of your life and what you're going through, They
they're
don't
not
have the
talking.
full picture.
The only person who has the full picture is you. And if you don't develop the skills and the critical thinking to figure out what applies and what doesn't, that's where we come into this.
Maybe you need a coach.
Maybe you need a coach.
And then you can bring all of that context to your coach. And if you have a good coach, they will be asking you for more context. When you ask a question, 9 times out of 10, we ask you another question before we answer it.
Yeah, a lot of times we don't answer any questions. No. We help you
We
figure
will
out
push
the answer.
you, yes.
We help you answer the questions. Okay, so, and then just the end of the summary is there are a lot of things that you can look at before you leave carnivore. If you're struggling, if you're stuck, there are many options. There are many things that you can do to improve where you're going without having to leave the fold, okay?
And I will say that the grand majority of the people who have made changes online, influencers who have made changes, the grand majority of them have not left carnivore at all.
Sure.
They've just maybe added one or two little things in.
The sensationalism and the drama around someone deciding that they want to throw some carbs into their life is just, it's
like
kind of
I
ridiculous.
Said, most of it is other people talking about it because it's trending.
Yep.
And then they tend to be the ones that are throwing in all of this inflammatory information about how you now need carbs, and they're using what these big influencers who have made one or two small changes, they're using that as their basis for this message that they're sharing that unfortunately is very flawed in many cases,
and
incorrect, completely incorrect in other cases, and can be harmful.
Well, and here's another little side effect, which I'll talk about before we pick a winner. However you define carnivore, keto, ketovore, whatever, we are all in a community together. The more we worry about what everyone else in our community is doing, the more opportunities we have for people who are just trying to profit off of what we're doing to inject their drama. Okay? People like Zane Griggs is having the impact he's having on people because we're fighting amongst ourselves. Right? Stop fighting within the community. I don't think we need to be fighting anywhere. It's not even a community, us versus them, with anything. Just worry about what's working for you, and it will prevent you worrying about you will prevent, it creates a bubble of protection around your peace of mind and the decisions that you've made in your journey. You could have people like him come out, say some absolute bullshit, and use some completely ignorant logic in science to make a claim to try and tell you that you're doing it wrong and you're going to be harmed if you keep doing what you're doing. But because you know what's working for you and what got you where you are, you can say, you know what, Zane, you're an idiot. I'm not going to worry about what you have to say. Okay, but because we're all worried about looking what everybody else is doing, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Right? Then that's just...
Yeah. And I would say he's a really good example of what we're talking about here. Somebody outside of the space using this as a way of clickbait and driving up views, and it's inflammatory.
Completely disingenuous and harmful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
there was something else I was going to say, and now I completely forgot what it was.
So I think we have some new...
I have some advice.
Okay.
I have some advice. There is nothing wrong with asking questions. In fact, I mean, as I watch people's videos about the people who are actually trying to make changes because they do believe that it's better for them and they're just trying to improve their own health or results, I have questions. And it's okay. I can get into the comments and I can ask them questions if I want to know more. Yeah. You know, if I want to know why Lisa Wiedemann is doing a particular thing, I can say, hey, Lisa, you know, I'm trying to gain something from what you're doing. Can you tell me more about how this is helping you, or this particular thing, or what was the thing that you actually changed as it related to this? specifically, is there anything, and especially for the doctors, I would ask them about the mechanisms. Can they point you to studies? Can they point you to the information that has made them change their mind? Mm-hmm. Ask more questions, y'all. You're going to gain so much more from asking questions than arguing. Arguing will get nobody anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, assumptions are the worst.
I'm trying to see. So I was going to say that Target Prime Rib would be a good person to win, but he's gone. He just said he had to go to work a while ago.
Well, Bellatate was our first.
You got anybody on your end?
Bellatat was our first.
Bellatat was the first question. We had a bunch of questions. Are you on? If they're still on.
Are you still on?
Bellatat 13?
I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Bellatat 13 on Nat's Instagram. You are a winner for today. Get a free bag of Keto Brains. Shoot Nat a message, a DM on Instagram, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you very much for joining, guys. We hope you enjoyed this. We hope it was helpful. We hope that nobody's afraid anymore of doing carnivore or keto or whatever version of this you're doing, and you can keep seeing the progress that you're seeing. See you guys.
Bye.